Good morning, class.
What in the world happened to your head, Mr. Periwinkle?
Well, I'm glad you asked. See, I went to the doctor this past week to have some tests run, and the doctor, he diagnosed me with...
He died! Oh, no.
Does that mean no homework?
Maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just having a seizure.
Maybe it's a heart attack.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. What I was trying to say is that the doctor diagnosed me with narcolepsy.
Narco-whatsy?
So homework's back on?
Are you sure you're okay, Mr. Periwinkle?
Oh, yes, TJ, I'm just fine. You see, narcolepsy is when you...
He's dead again! No.
No homework again? Man, I cannot take these roller coaster emotions.
I know what narcolepsy is. It's when you go back in time, but your body stays here. But you have to get into like 88 miles per hour in your DeLorean and make sure your flux capacitor's working.
Man, be quiet. You're just quoting the plot from Back to the Future.
It's okay, everyone. I think that obviously I am the teacher now. So you all have a test tomorrow.
You ain't no teacher.
I know what we need to do. Serper.
What?
Serper.
What's a serper? I've never heard of it.
You know, Serper.
Spell it.
It's spelled C-P-R.
Oh, yeah.
Serper.
Yeah,
You should
I
do that.
took a class on that once.
Forget your class. Do you have one of these? Yeah.
Oh, wow, everybody, I'm so sorry. What are you doing? Go to your seat.
You are scaring us!
Yeah, Mr. P, I gotta admit, I'm getting kind of scared too. We don't have narco polo in the Bronx. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, guys, it's really all right. Narcolepsy is a condition where you fall asleep at random times. It's not life-threatening. It's really nothing to worry about. I'm completely in control.
He's dead 3 times now!
These kids are really letting their fear get the best of them, aren't they? You know, there was a time in the Bible when Jesus' disciples were really afraid as well. Jesus stood up and asked them a very important question. He asked, "Why are you so afraid?" After all, Jesus was right there with them. So why would they need to be so afraid? Sometimes we all forget that Jesus is with us no matter where we go. Problems come and bad things happen, and we let ourselves get overwhelmed by fear. But Jesus is asking us the same question today. Why are you so afraid? In your lesson today, you're going to hear that incredible story about the disciples in the storm and how Jesus handled the problem for them. You are going to learn that no matter what happens, you don't ever have to be afraid. Jesus is always there for you. My name is Kayla, and I'll see you next time when we study more of Jesus' questions.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the Bible Story Corner. I'm the Bible Story Lady, and I'm here to tell you a really cool Bible story. Do you have your Bibles? Okay, so we're going to learn about a really cool Bible story, and it is found in the book of Matthew, chapter 8. Now, at this particular time, Jesus was doing what he loved to do: teach people. It had been a long day, and Jesus really wanted to get away from the crowds. So he asked the disciples to push the boat out to sea and go to the other side so he could spend some time alone. So the disciples did as Jesus asked. They set out onto the Sea of Galilee. Everything seemed fine for quite a while. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a giant storm comes up on the boat. The disciples started freaking out. The wind and the waves were tossing and turning the boat. Water was coming over the sides of the boat. The disciples were so afraid as they tried to keep the boat afloat during the storm. This whole time, however, Jesus was sound asleep in the boat. He wasn't even worried. The disciples went to Jesus and tried to wake him up. They said, Master, Master, we're going to drown. They were afraid that the water was going to overtake the boat and cause the boat to sink. They really didn't want to die just yet, you know. Jesus looked at the storm, looked at the disciples, and asked them a big question. Why are you afraid? I am sure the disciples were thinking in their minds, what do you mean, why are we afraid? Do you not see this storm? Jesus definitely saw the storm, but he wasn't afraid. So Jesus walked up to the front of the boat. He lifted his arms to the angry sea and said, Peace, be still. Suddenly, the wind stopped. The rain stopped. The waves stopped. It was no longer a stormy sea. Instead, it was a calm, peaceful sea. The storm had stopped. But Jesus then turned to his disciples and asked, Where is your faith? You see, Jesus was teaching them that they didn't need to run around freaking out in a storm. They had forgotten that the very person who has the power over the wind and the waves was right there in the boat with them. I like that Bible story. Well, I think it's time for a power verse.
Hey kids, it's Coach. Look, I got good news and some bad news. The good news is I'm out of the kitchen and I'm back on gym detail. The bad news is it's dodgeball day, which is why I found myself running as far and as fast as I can, but it looks to me that Coach has maybe accidentally run 150 years into the past, but it's okay. I am a little bit nervous to go back. I think I'm gonna hang here because, boy, those second graders, they can rifle that dodgeball and look, Coach can hold his own. I mean, look at this body. But those kids, I'm a little scared. So I think I might just hang out here today. But while we're here, why don't we all learn the power verse together, all right? Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. Now I want all the girls to stand up, and on the count of 3, Sorry, I thought I saw a second grader. We're good. On the count of 3, I want all the girls to say the power verse. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. Great job, girls. You can have a seat. Now I want all the boys to stand up. And boys, if you don't do it, it's a technical foul. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. Oh, good job, boys. But you know what? The more and more we say this power verse, the more I feel like, what am I afraid of? God's with me. And you know what? God's with you too, so we don't have to be afraid. You hear that? I'm not afraid anymore. I'm gonna go face those second graders, because, oh, here they come. And they got their, you know what? Just let me have it, kid. Just let me have it. Oh, that was actually not so bad. I can take it. Hey, let's do our power verse one more time, but this time doing our physical challenge. All right, on the count of 3, you guys are all gonna stand up and we're gonna say the power verse while pretending to be hit in the face with a dodgeball. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. Great job, everybody. You all can have a seat. I'm very proud of you, and we're not afraid anymore. But listen, Coach has got to get back to the gym because I've got confidence. I'm ready. I'll see you next week. Come on, kids. Bring it on. Oh, that one stung a bit, but I'll be all right. Let's go.
So you see, instead of focusing on the storm, just like the disciples, they should have focused on the one who can calm the storm. And you're going to learn exactly what the disciples learned that day. So listen carefully, because you're going to learn just what you need to do when you're afraid.
Alright, so you see, kids, this is why we're learning about all about being afraid and things like that.
Whoa!
Oh, man. Why me? Why us? Why him?
No one questions the Inquisitor!
Hello, Inquisitor. How are you doing today?
Well, you know the rules, Buster.
Buster? Who is Buster?
'Tis what I call you, O Buster of the Inquisitor's rules. The rules of the Inquisitor being myself, and my rules being the rules of the which are inquisitive. But wait, I ask the questions around here.
Yes, we all know you go around everybody asking all these crazy questions.
Aha! My reputation precedes me. Well, if you can handle the shock, prepare for the inquisiting. Ha 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 ha. Now, if zebras run fast enough, do they turn gray? Why do parrots only want crackers? And what happens if Rapunzel has a bad hair day?
Oh, well, I don't
Are
think...
porcupines afraid to play with balloons? Is lip sweater a better name for a mustache? And why does it hurt when I do this? Oh!
Oh my goodness, please stop. These questions are ridiculous. We're trying to learn a really serious question today, one that Jesus asked.
Is it the mustache thing?
No, the question is actually all about not having faith.
Wait, not having face? My face is right where it's supposed to be. Isn't it? Oh my gosh, is my face gone? Where's my face? Oh, look, there it is.
No, not face. Faith. He's talking about losing your faith when you're afraid.
I'm always afraid of losing my face. This handsome mug pays the bills, you know.
Once again, it is faith that we can lose when we're afraid, not our face. Okay? Like the fear that happens when we try to handle a problem on our own. Okay? We think that we can handle it with our own strength because we're nice and strong, but no one is invincible.
Well, what if we're really strong and smart? Sure, we can handle it for a little while. And then we'll ask Jesus for help.
No, that doesn't work because fear actually comes when we put Jesus last instead of first. You see, Jesus doesn't want to be our backup person to go to at the last resort. He actually wants us to bring him our problems first.
Well, I've got a question for you, Sonny Jim.
Good grief. I may regret it. But okay, what's your question?
How do you get rid of fear?
Wow, that's actually a great question. Okay, so fear is destroyed when you put your faith in Jesus. He is more powerful than anything in the entire universe, and Jesus can handle anything. So just go to him first.
Zounds! You, my instructive friend, have percolated my perennial cortex. And now I will hunker down and haw and hem over this question you have acquired.
Oh, what does that mean?
I'm gonna go think about it for a little bit. But before I go, I have one more question for you. Beware. Do dragons breathe fire? Or do they just never brush their teeth?
Say what?
Huh! No one questions the Inquisitor!
Okay. Anyway, I think we're finished up for today. You are going over to your second period class for some more learning. Bye.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to second period. And we're learning about this question, why are you afraid? So, what scares you? What makes you afraid the most? Is it maybe sitting in your room in the dark all by yourself and you start hearing some scary noises coming out and you might think that's giant monsters trying to get you? Or maybe you're walking around your neighborhood and all of a sudden this big, scary looking dog with nasty teeth jumps out and starts chasing you. I mean, that could be pretty frightening. Well, I don't know what makes you afraid, but what I do know is that we all get scared from time to time. I mean, even Jesus' disciples get scared sometimes. Now, just like we read in our Bible story today, that the disciples were afraid because they were facing a massive storm. Now, through that story, though, we can learn some important lessons about fear. Fear comes when you try to handle the problem on your own. Did you notice what the disciples did the moment the storm came? They started freaking out. They were running around the boat trying to keep it afloat. Now, most of the disciples on the boat were expert fishermen, so they know how to sail a boat. So they were trying to handle the problem all on their own. But guess what? Jesus was in the boat with them, the Son of God. He could have stopped it as if they would have asked him first. But guess what? They didn't ask him for help. They wanted to handle it all on their own. Fear comes when you try to handle the problems of life all on your own. You try to fix the problems instead of asking God for help. You don't have the power to fix the problems. So you end up getting overwhelmed by fear, just like the disciples did. But fear not only comes when you try to handle your problems all on your own, but fear comes when you go to Jesus last instead of first. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, the disciples eventually went to Jesus for help, right? Yes, they did. But just like you and I do, they went to Jesus last instead of first. So too often, whenever problems come up in school or maybe with your family or maybe with your friends, you tend to try to fix it all on your own first. Then, when nothing happens, then you go to Jesus and ask him for help. But that's only after you try to fix it on your own. That's why we get so scared. We waste so much time trying to fix these problems before going to Jesus. All we have to do is go to Jesus first. And once a problem arises in your life, you need to stop and pray and ask Jesus for help. And if we do that, then we won't be so overwhelmed with fear. Instead, fear is destroyed when you put your faith in Jesus. So the reason Jesus asked his disciples, "Where is your faith?" is because faith in Jesus destroys fear. When you remind yourself that Jesus is always with you, you don't have to be afraid. So if you have faith in Jesus to handle your problems instead of trying to handle them all on your own, fear is destroyed. So faith is the opposite of fear. Now, do you have faith in Jesus? Do you believe that he can handle your problems the same way he handled the storm with the disciples? Do you have faith in him to help you? And if so, Jesus wants to ask you today, why are you afraid? So, you don't have to fear when you have faith. Take it away, Skittles.
What's up? What's up?
Ah yeah, what's up everybody? It's me, the S-K-I to the double T-L-E-S, Skittles in the hizzy, and I'm ready to tell you what's up. Today, we are talking about having faith in God. So every time today that somebody asks you, what's up? You tell them, I will have faith and I will not doubt. Some people doubt God's power when life storms come along. Oh no, I want to drown! Help me, Granny, help! Life is full of storms and bad times. We can't give up just because things ain't going our way. No way. We gotta have faith in God no matter what. He gonna see us through. Oh yeah. So anytime somebody asks you, what's up? You tell them, I will have faith and I will not doubt. And that's what's up. I got a rainbow of flavor and I'm living for my Savior. Skittles out. Bang, bang, yeah.